Jack, good to have you here on this day.
Thank you.
How do you fight the hate? Is one of the ways to do it through education?
Well, yes. In our case, our mission is based on two pillars, remembrance and education. And we believe it's not only important to remember those we lost, particularly on Yom HaShoah, but it's also important to educate current and future generations. And I think to the point you asked, now more than ever, fighting so much bad information and so much misinformation and disinformation is more important than ever, and particularly to younger people who we believe are bombarded with so many sources of bad information.
Right.
So yes, we think education is our most important pillar, particularly even younger people than we traditionally have been involved in teaching.
Mm-hmm. We, Jack, of course, have the news this morning that Columbia canceling its main graduation ceremony because of the protests there. You mentioned bad information. What can be done to make sure that students, like those protesting at Columbia, get good information?
Well, I think some institutions have done a better job than others of having groups that are not necessarily in agreement, at least have the proper forums for communication and discussion. I think that's one thing. And I think when things become divided lines where nobody talks to each other but at each other, and when the vitriol gets so spewed, it becomes very difficult to have civil discourse. And I think that's one of the big challenges for university administrators.
Right.
In our case, we find that bringing together diverse groups to speak together about history and the lessons of history is a good way to not have agreement, but at least have understanding.
And Jack, before we go, I have to ask, the NYPD was investigating threats over the weekend. Thankfully, nothing happened, but bomb threats against synagogues and a museum. As you try to focus on education and remembrance, have you had to step up security?
Without question, there has been an increase in the need for security. Fortunately, we have not had any incidents. However, it is a sad reality that the feeling of safety by members of our community, and this goes to college campuses as well, is a big issue that has to be addressed. It's an unfortunate necessity.
Well, we thank you so much. Jack Kliger, President and CEO of the Museum of Jewish Heritage. We thank you for your insights.